Hello, my name is Andrea Crosta, and I'm the founder and executive director of Earth League International, the first intelligence agency for Earth. I'm also one of the protagonists of the National Geographic documentary Sea of Shadows that KDocs Film Festival 2021 is screening this year. I'm very sorry for not being at the festival in person and in Vancouver, one of my favorite cities in the world. Before talking about Sea of Shadows, I'd like to add a few words about myself and my work so you can better understand and appreciate what you see in the documentary. I'm Italian. I live in many places around the world. I'm currently based in Los Angeles. I was born with a huge love for animals, for nature, for wild species. And for many years, in a sort of parallel career, I also work a lot in the private sector, especially in high-tech technologies for homeland security and anti-terrorism and intelligence. Around 10 years ago, I was in Eastern Africa for work, right in the middle of the elephant poaching crisis when we were losing 40,000 elephants every year for the illegal ivory trade. I saw what was happening, and I saw that the international community, in my opinion, was not able to understand the complexity behind wildlife and environmental crime and how international trafficking networks operate. And I thought that there was no chance to fight those criminal networks without the use of professional intelligence, exactly like we do with other global threats, such as terrorism or narco trafficking, where intelligence is at the very center of the strategy to fight back. So I decided to leave my job and merge my two professional backgrounds, conservation and security, intelligence, and high tech, to create a new NGO capable of fighting environmental crime at the highest possible level, collecting intelligence, possibly actionable intelligence, on the illegal supply chains that are destroying Earth, but also on the convergence with other crimes, such as human smuggling and money laundering, that are often associated with environmental crimes. My dream was to create the first intelligence agency for Earth, and so I did. My team members are now former FBI and CIA crime analysts, geospatial intelligence officers, undercover operatives, cybersecurity experts, and media professionals. In the past years, we have been collecting information on hundreds of top international traffickers and producing intelligence on a variety of wildlife crime issues: ivory trafficking, rhino horn trafficking, jaguar parts trafficking, illegal fishing, and the illegal trade of timber. We go after top international traffickers and corrupt government officials who are the real enablers, the real drivers behind the destruction of many species and ecosystems. Our mission also includes the support of law enforcement agencies that routinely receive from us large amount of confidential information. We are a fact-finding organization because we bring back home facts and evidence, and we act as a sort of justice accelerator because law enforcement can act quicker with our intelligence that we provide free of charge, no strings attached. So now let's talk about Sea of Shadows, the documentary. For almost 4 years, we have been working on a wonderful and little-known animal called Vaquita. The Vaquita is a porpoise. She's related to whales and dolphins, endemic of the Sea of Cortez in Baja California, Mexico. And sadly, the Vaquita is now the rarest marine mammal in the world, with just around a dozen vaquitas probably still surviving in the Sea of Cortez. The Vaquita has been completely exterminated by the illegal gill nets used to fish the totoaba. Totoaba is a large fish, also endemic of Baja California. And totoaba is fished only for its swim bladder, that is smuggled to China and sold on the black market for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a piece, and even more. We call it fake gold. The illegal fishing of totoaba and the international trafficking of its swim bladder to Asia, but also to the United States, are not just pushing the vaquita into extinction, But those illegal gill nets are destroying an entire ecosystem. I saw with my eyes in those nets sharks and dolphins and manta rays and even seabirds. Those nets are real killing machines. Anti-poaching, like the removal of the illegal gill nets and working with local communities, are important activities, of course, but they just buy time. They do not address the root of the problem. And advocacy campaigns on the final consumers in Asia are, of course, important, but take a lot of time, generations. And many species around the world, including the vaquita, cannot afford to wait. The main problem to address is transnational crime and huge profits for traffickers and businessmen. This is why it is very important to launch undercover operations and long-term international intelligence gathering activities in order to identify the most important players and take them out. In 2017, after working for over a year on this issue in Mexico and China, I contacted Terra Matra Factual Studios, the production company behind Sea of Shadows, and the director Richard Latkani, with the idea to do a documentary about the vaquita and about this incredible story. They weren't convinced at the beginning. They were afraid that nobody knew those animals. They couldn't even pronounce the totoaba. I thought it was a pity, and I thought that was exactly the reason why it was important to do a documentary about it. Fortunately, a few months later, Leonardo DiCaprio called them with the same idea, and 4 weeks later, they started the production of the film. The Vaquita story is a case study with a lot of lessons that can be learned and used on other species before it's too late. But it is also a story of an epic failure of conservation that we have to acknowledge. New strategies and actions focused on the international traffickers are crucial if we want to stop the destruction of the Sea of Cortez, that Jacques Cousteau called once the aquarium of the world, and maybe save the vaquita. And professional intelligence must be put at the center of the strategy to fight back for Earth. The KDocs Film Festival theme sums up exactly what Earth needs and what we should all work for: resistance, freedom, and justice. So thank you very much, and let's keep fighting for wildlife, oceans, and forests.